everyone, and welcome to Nexus Tarot. My name is Nicole. I'm very glad that you're here. Today we're going to be tapping into the energies of this month's full moon. The full moon for this month is going to be in Scorpio. We are currently still both in Mercury and Pluto retrograde, and Pluto actually has a few connections to the energies we'll be working with, as it's a planet associated with transformation, power, death, rebirth, and evolution. Now, I'm going to give a very short summary and generalization of the energies during a full moon in Scorpio. So if you are interested in the topic, I highly recommend doing your own additional research. It's fairly easy to find articles and videos about it. The full moon in Scorpio is an emotionally intense event that can create a tug of war between opposing signs, illuminating what is needed in life and what needs to just go. The Scorpio energy can see you having an increased commitment and faithfulness to relationships and can lead to positive breakthroughs, but also to potential dysfunction. Their mysterious and intuitive nature can lead to an increased interest in the occult and the connection to the other side. During this full moon, it is advised to stay focused and faithful to your true self and purpose, and to not give in to the expectations of others. The Scorpio energy can have an increased determination and passion, as Scorpios are generally higher connected to their intuitive feelings and their willingness to fight for what they believe in. Doing activities that help you to sharpen your intuition will be beneficial for you. The astrological tarot correspondent of Scorpio is the Death card. Making sure my mat moved. Yeah, it's the Death card. Scorpio's transformative nature links them to this card because they are constantly evolving, leaving their old selves behind in order to slowly keep reaching for their true selves. So for today's reading, we're going to be seeking advice on what is sleeping inside of you and what is needed to bring it out. You'll be choosing from these 3 decks. You can pick more than one pile because if you feel called to listen to more than one, because as these are generalized readings, some things may resonate with you, but you can take with you, and some of them may not. And just if it doesn't resonate with you, just ignore it. As you can see, I've already pulled out the Death card from each deck because we're going to be using the Death card to focus on and channel the Scorpio energy of this moon. Feel free, as always, to use the timestamps provided to jump around to any part of the video. I'm going to be leaving you all for a minute to meditate with the decks, and so you can decide, and I will see each of you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. This is your full moon in Scorpio reading. Here is the Death card. Are going to be using him or they. Probably I should use the word they. We're going to be using them to channel the Scorpio energy. Now, the Death card, basically some of the key words that you can take away from the Death card is definitely endings, but it's also about letting go, transformation, with the flower, and then rebirth, moving on, and transformation and transition. Like the death card doesn't have to mean anything negative. It's just literally about like sometimes you got to let things go in order for something new to take place. We're going to move him over there. Be right up there. All right. What is the full moon in Scorpio going to be like for group number 1? What are some things that are sleeping inside of them that need to be brought out? And what are some things that need to be let go of in order to become to our true selves? A lot of combative energy going on here. We got 2 sword cards and one wands card. Well, I think so. We got the seven of wands here reversed. I think definitely what is being left behind is you've probably been struggling with something that you're very much probably passionate about, and you've been struggling about it, and you're starting to think like, is this worth it? Is all of this worth it? Like, has all of this hard work and energy and that I've put into this even worth it for my mental health and my well-being? I think that is something you're definitely contemplating on. And I think you're definitely thinking about letting it go. As much as it probably hurts you to think about letting it go, I think that's definitely something you're thinking of letting go. Oh, this card was the next one. I think you've definitely been letting sleep inside you, letting people get not realize at how smart you are. Realize that you are definitely someone who is definitely worth wanting to start like a new intellectual project, someone who is very suave and speaks their mind very well. I think you're definitely someone who has been not letting people see the real you, see that you are smarter than you actually appear to be, someone who is willing to fight for things like justice, and someone who's willing to stand up and look to the future and see that things are better than they are. I think in order for you to start on this new path of yours, this new path, and to let go of the things that you have been leading out, you definitely need to, again, these cards to me are pretty similar in a lot of ways. They speak of different energies, but as you can see here, I think this is you. You've been definitely fighting for something, and you've won almost, but you're starting to reach the point where it's like, what is the point of all of this? At what cost did what are the things that I lost, and what things did I gain from standing up on my own 2 feet for all this time? Something that I've been fighting for. I think definitely you're reaching that point where you're just ready to just give up and move on to something new. You want something new. You want something new that you can be proud of. You want something new that you can talk to people about. Something that you've probably got like something you've been working on. Honestly, I think you might be thinking about going to school. I think you might be thinking about going back to school and nurturing your mind again. You want to learn something new. You want to start, learning again and doing something that feels worthwhile. And I think you've just been struggling and holding on to things that you are questioning of like, why am I still doing this? Why am I still doing this? Why am I, fighting all of these battles against all of these people for things that I'm starting to almost not believe in? And yes, I'm winning, but at what cost? People are starting to turn away from me. They're starting to turn away from me, from you. And I don't want to be alone. I don't think you want to be alone anymore. Yeah. I think you are starting to reach the point where you are ready for change. You're ready to just let go of constantly fighting, constantly feeling like you're on edge, and constantly feeling like you're working towards something that's probably just not even worth it anymore. Let's see if we can't get some additional info. Sextile. I think that's how you say that. A combination of tension and flow, potential, and a rewarding situation. Yeah. You've been going through the motions and dealing with a lot of tension, but you are working towards something that I think you want to have something that's new potential and something that's rewarding. You want to feel like you're being rewarded for something. But I think you just need to get over all of this conflict that you've been dealing with. And I think you're ready for it. I think you're ready to just let it go. You don't want to, no one wants to be fighting all of the time. It's too exhausting. It's too exhausting. This is why I tend to stay home, all the time, is because like sometimes people are just too complicated and just too difficult to work with. And Uranus, radically change. Wow. Isn't that like also in line with things? You are ready for a radical change. You want this change. You're definitely over this. You want something new. You want people to see you differently. You want people to see you not as someone who is constantly fighting all of the time. You want them to see you differently, and you want to change. Feeling this one right here. House 7. Profound relationships, intimacy, and romantic partnerships. I think, yeah, you've probably been fighting so much that it's definitely ruined your relationships. You've been fighting for so long that it's affected your relationships with people, and you want to feel like you're someone who can have intimacy and romantic partnerships again. Someone who is also probably you can have intellectual conversations with. I think you've been attracted to a certain type of person, and up to this point probably there's nothing wrong with being attracted to people who are attractive, physically, but I think you want to start thinking about maybe being attracted to someone for their brain, some of the things that they're interested in. I think that's probably something that you also need to change, is you probably need to change, like, who are the types of people you're hanging out with? Who are the types of people that you want to have romantic relationships with and intimacy with? I'm feeling that one. A time to give rather than to take. Yeah. You've probably just been in a constant struggle, and it just feels like you've just been taking and taking and taking, and maybe it's just time to give. This is the new moon in Virgo card. I probably should have said the name of the card. Yeah, I think you're ready to start giving more of yourself intellectually as well, like using your brain for the greater good, using your brain to make someone feel good, make other people feel good, instead of just like constantly taking from people. I don't know if people have considered you to be a selfish person, but I think that's also probably something you want to change about yourself. If you've been considered a selfish person in your life, you don't want to be considered selfish. You want to be considered someone who is giving. Full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming. If you've been just kind of stuck on how to move on, I think the answers are coming to you. You just got to be a little bit patient. The answers you need to get past all of this, they are coming for you. Oh, and I just realized that's not in the shot at all. Hold on one second. Let me move these up some more. There we go. There we go. Now we can see a bit better. Actually, I do feel like this one. Expect powerful change. New moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. I think this whole reading is about change. Like, I know that this is definitely like full moon in Scorpio, death and rebirth, but I think you are just at the point where you're just done. And I think, though, once this change starts to happen, it's going to feel powerful and it's going to feel good. It's going to feel good, and I think you just need to ride it. Ride the wave. Ride the wave. Expect that the change is going to come, that the answers you need are coming to you. And just ride this wave of change. I think you're ready. I think that's probably why it's going to be so powerful and so radical, is because you're just done. You've probably been in this situation right here for way too long. Way too long. Maybe even this is something like that's been carried over from last year. And you're done. You want change now. I think if you set some intentions like this last New Year, I think things are probably finally taking fruition. And it's gonna the change is gonna come this month. It's going to come this month, and it's going to be powerful. All right, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you consider giving me a like or a subscribe. It always helps out the channel. And thank you, and I'll see you all again in my next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 2. This is going to be your reading for the full moon in Scorpio. We have the Death card right here. I like this card. This card's very pretty. Now, the Death card, some things to keep in mind about the Death card. He's not a bad dude. They're not a bad dude. Like, the Death card basically essentially means like things are just coming to an end that need to be let go. And in order to transform and be reborn, to move on from things that just are no longer serving, no longer working for us and being beneficial for us, just so we can transition into something better. You know, he's meant to be like, yes, some things that are ending can be painful, but they're often good for us. They're often necessary in order to bring in something new, something better for ourselves. All right, what is the full moon in Scorpio going to be like for group number 2? What changes can we expect for them? What are they holding on to that needs to be let go? And what things do we need to prepare to bring in for something new? Cards are getting a little slippery, running away from me. Actually, I feel that. All right. Well, we've got the Page of Wands here in the spot of like, what part of you is being left behind? What part of you needs to die in order to be reborn, potentially? I think you've definitely probably been someone who lives a very carefree life up until now. Someone who doesn't take things super seriously, someone who likes to go on adventures, who likes to do something new almost every day, maybe even every other day. They like to be experiencing new things all the time. And I think you're contemplating about settling down and probably making more of a serious life for yourself, maybe something that is probably more in line of what you're meant to do. We've got something that's been sleeping inside of you. Like, I know the 10 of Swords for a lot of people is a very scary card, but honestly, honestly, I think you've got a lot of things that you are holding on inside of you. You've got a lot of ideas. You've got a lot of ideas that you've been holding on to, probably all of these things that you've learned from your experiences, and they're just bottling up inside of you. They're bottling up inside of you to the point where it's like, man, I gotta share what I know. I gotta share everything that I've learned, because if I just keep it bottling it up inside of me, it's just gonna be useless and just bleed out into nothingness. It's just basically not serve a purpose anymore. Honestly, I think whenever people see the Ten of Swords card, they're very scared of it, because it's like it's someone who's being stabbed, by a bunch of swords, and they're bleeding out, and it looks like it's a very painful card. But I think this is something you've done to yourself. This is something you've done to yourself, but it's not over. It's definitely not a bad sign. I think what you just need to do is you just need to release all of these thoughts and feelings and let them out into the world. You need to let them go. Let go of the swords that are useless to you, who basically just hold you back and hold you down. Keep the swords that are good. Keep the experiences that you've learned along the way, the bad and the good, because we learn so much even from our failures and our mistakes. Just learn from these and let them go. Let go of the things that don't need to be held on to anymore. I think you're holding on to all of this. You're holding on to it, and it needs to just come out. You probably just need to talk about it with someone. You've probably been feeling a lot of anxiety, and maybe even, again, some betrayal. I think you've been feeling a lot of thoughts and negative feelings that you just need to share. Share them with the people that is appropriate to share it with. Keyword appropriate to share it with, because some people aren't worth like our time. And just share your experiences. Share everything that you've learned up until this point, just so that you can truly come into someone that you're meant to be. I think none of this has been a waste. None of this is a waste, by the way, because I think in order to cross this threshold, you need to take stock of what it is. Again, I probably was like very much channeling this card from reading this. You need to take stock of what it is that you have. And then you need to build something that's going to last. You've got the Nine of Wands here. Is like, where will you cross the threshold? What must you cross in order for the rebirth to happen? You need to take stock of what it is that you have from all of your experiences. Line them up. Take some time to reflect and line up everything that you've learned, everything that you have, both mentally, physically, spiritually. Line it all up. Assess it. And just use all of these experiences to better yourself, to make yourself your proverbial wall, your home, your safe space. Use all of the things that you've learned to build your safe space, because there's nothing more important than your own safety, whether it be mentally or physically or spiritually. I think I'm feeling like some trial is coming to you, and all of your experiences that you've had along the way are going to very much greatly serve you. They are going to be your weapons. They are going to be your shield. They are going to protect you. All of these bad experiences that you've experienced, good and bad. Honestly, I would not be surprised if something bad that happened to you before is going to try coming to you again. But you've learned. You have grown. You'll have built yourself a wall. You'll have built yourself these experiences that will know how to combat it. And you will come out of it a better person. You will feel like $1,000,000, because it's like, I saw that coming a mile away, and I knew how to defend against it. And honestly, even this might even come to someone else that you know, and be like, hey, don't do that thing. Like best friend, sister, brother, mother, father, don't do that. That's a scam. Whatever it is that they're offering to you, it's a scam. And you want to know how I know that? Because I experienced it once before. I experienced it once before, and I was backstabbed by it, and I was betrayed by it. And I think it's also going to, in order, and if you save them from that, it's going to build up your wall. It's going to be, you're going to start building relationships with people that are going to last. You're going to start bringing in your own experiences into things, into future relationships, and it's going to make things for the better. All of these struggles that you've dealt with up until now, they're the building blocks. They're the building blocks to a better future for yourself. Let's see if we can't get some more info. South Node, destined to release. This is such a pretty card. Yeah, you're destined to release all of this negativity. You're destined to release it. You're destined to release also all of these experiences and make a better world for you and those around you. You're destined to release everything and be a better person because of it. Libra, consideration, fairness, and harmony. It's going to make you be, honestly, someone who is very much, who is more fair. You're going to be someone who is going to be able to easily tell, like, the right from the wrong, the pros and the cons to everything. All of these people might have thought you childish leading up to this road, up to this point, previously, but honestly, all of those experiences, all of those bad decisions that, you know, even looking back on, hindsight is 2020, you can agree they were probably bad decisions, but they were good. They were good for you to have experienced them, just so that you can have better understanding of how things work, so that you can be fair and bring harmony to other people's lives. Okay. I was not expecting for that to happen, but we're gonna go with it. Sextile. A combination of tension and flow. Potential and a rewarding situation. Yeah, you've probably been feeling a lot of tension. A lot of tension up until now. It's been bottling up inside of you, but it's going to end up being something that is going to be the catalyst to a new beginning for yourself, and it's going to feel very rewarding for you. Expect powerful change. It's going to be a very powerful change once you reach this point. Once you can start feeling like you have built your castle, it's going to feel powerful, and you're going to feel like a star. Oh, this one's upside down. Show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius. It's going to make people see the real you. That childish person that they used to see, they're going to realize that that's, like, yes, that's still a part of you. You'll never be able to let this inner childhood go, but it's going to show the people the real you. It's going to show people that you are someone who is very smart and someone who is very strong, someone who is a very strong person and who is also kind. Take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Yeah. That is in line, I think, with the 10 of Swords right there. You need to just take the time to just let it all out. Breathe it all out into the world. Air out all of the hurts, you know, that you've been holding on to. Air out all of even all of the kind things that have happened to you. Maybe some of the things that all of those small the small things matter more than the big things. All of those small things that you have done, they matter. They matter, and you just need to take the time to air them out, to breathe them out into the world. I think this is going to be the catalyst of a big change for you guys, group number 2. I think you're going to start feeling like you're making more adult decisions and doing things that you feel that are right and are good for you. You shouldn't completely forget that inner child, though. We should always have an inner child. We should always have the time to have fun and experience something new. You don't have to completely give up on experiencing new things. We must never stop learning. As a human race, we must never stop growing, never stop expanding, never stop looking to the future, never stop learning and trying to make it better. Well, group number 2, I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope to see you all again in my next reading, and I hope you consider subscribing. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 3. This is going to be your full moon in Scorpio reading. We have our death card right here. Now, the death card is not something to be scared of. He or they stand for things that must end in order to let them go and to transform ourselves, in order to be reborn into our better selves, to move on from the things that cause us pain, cause us worry, things that no longer serve us very well anymore, just so we can transition into something new, transition into a better life. You know, things have to end in order for the new to begin. I'm going to move him over there. All right. What does group number 3 need to know about the full moon in Scorpio? What things are sleeping inside of them that need to come out? What things do they need to let go of in order for these new things to come out? Right. Well, you've got the 8 of Cups here in the part of you that's being in the spot of like what needs to be left behind in order to be reborn. And I think you've already been working on this. This is something already been working on. You have probably been got a lot of stuff, a lot of emotional trauma and pain that you have been working on letting go. I think this is just something you just need to continue to work on. This is something you just need to continue to do, you know? Continue doing that shadow work. Continue reflecting, going to therapy, whatever it is that you're doing. I think you just need to continue to let go. Like, continue to walk away from it. You've got a lot of stuff, but make sure to keep in mind of the things that still need to be kept. We've got, like, you know, these 7 cups right here that are stacked up on each other. But then there's this 1 cup that's just kind of like left by itself. Leave behind the things that no longer are serving you, but remember to hold on to the good. Just because bad things happen to you does not mean that they are not great learning experiences. Not everything was a waste. You know, it's okay to feel conflicted about a situation, having dual emotions, being like really angry at someone but still loving them at the same time. That is an okay thing to feel. There is nothing wrong with you for feeling that way, for feeling conflicting and what's the word? Feeling a little bit hypocritical almost. It's okay. That is an okay thing to feel. That means you're just human. That means that we are all humans are complicated and all humans are flawed. And I think we've got the reverse Seven of Cups here. You've got a lot of ideas that have been sleeping in you, and they've just been going stale. I think you need to realize that probably a lot of the things that you have built up, this probably is a lot, goes a lot with this. You have got a lot of ideas, that things that you are good at, some things that you're not good at. You need to start picking and choosing the things that you need to release into the world. You've got some darkness in you. I'm not going to lie. You've got a lot of darkness in you, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with feeling like you are not the best version of yourself right now. Everyone has to hit rock bottom at some point. I certainly have. Everyone does. But understand that just because like some of your dreams didn't work out, that doesn't mean you can't pick them up again and bring them to light. It doesn't mean that all of your choices are completely gone and unattainable anymore. I think you've got at least one thing that's under your hat that you need to probably grab hold of and bring it out into the world. And in order to do that, you've just got to nurture that idea. We've got the Ace of Swords reversed in the spot of like, where will you cross the threshold? What sort of do you need to do in order to let this happen? I think you just need to scrap. You need to start over. Scrap whatever plan you probably had going for you. I don't think you probably know it was not a good plan. It's a bad plan. You probably need to just toss the plan into the trash and make a new plan. You know, maybe you need to get some perspective from someone else. I think you probably need another perspective. I think you've hit a wall and you're not sure how to get past the wall. I think what you need to do is you just need to find someone to talk to, someone to communicate with, communicate all of these issues that you've been having. Find someone that you can talk to, even if you don't think that they can solve your problem. They probably can't solve your problem, but they might at least give you a new perspective. They'll give you a new perspective and probably see something that you didn't. And that one thing that they saw that you didn't will spark a new idea for you. It'll spark a new idea for you. It could be even just something really benign and just something unrelated, but something that they say to you is going to bring like an all new spark. It's going to be like, oh my goodness, why didn't I think of that before? And why did it take something as benign as, you know, this, just like an offhanded remark that just starts getting the brain churning and is just like, wait a minute, I've been looking at this all wrong. I think that's honestly what it is. I think you just need to speak to someone. You need to speak to someone, share with them all of the plans and ideas that you've had for the future. Share with them, just take a day, you know, maybe have a little bit of a party with them. Cause like I'm seeing all of these cups that are up and cups that are down, making me think that you're just doing a lot of like social work, like drinking. If you have an addiction to alcohol, please don't do that. But you get the idea. You need to just go out and have some fun and just maybe spend a day with this person and just talk about everything. Honestly, it wouldn't even surprise me if this is a person from your past, you know, that you just haven't seen in a long time, and being like, hey, how are you doing? I haven't seen you so long. What's up, man? And honestly, like, I think what you need to do is you need to be honest with them and be like, hey, like, I've been going through some shit. I've been going through it. And do you have some time where I can talk to you about it? Because I kind of need a new perspective. An outside source, you know, who isn't in life right now. to give me a new perspective. And I think honestly, they're going to say yes. They're going to be like, yeah, sure, man. Like, let's have lunch and we'll air it out. You know, I don't mind. I think honestly, this past friend is probably going to just be what you need. This card, I swear, this card came up in all 3 readings, by the way. Sextile, combination of tension and flow, potential, and a rewarding situation. Everyone, I think, is going through some tension and flow of the cups. But the tension and the flow is going to release. Like, is just riding the wave is going to bring everyone, I think, this month into their potential and where they need to go. And I think at the end of it, once they say that benign thing and they give you that spark, it's going to get things rocking. Yin, intuition, trust, patience, spirituality, and receptivity. And we've even got the Scorpio on here. Yeah, the Scorpio is very much yin energy. I think you just definitely need to continue to trust yourself. You've been doing what you've been doing all along, and trusting yourself and doing the work and the process of like letting things go and doing that shadow work. You just need to continue with it. You need to have patience and continue to explore your spirituality and continue to be receptive to open ideas, receptive to any sort of good positive vibes that are coming your way. Aquarius, originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. Honestly, I think that's probably that spark that you're needing. Is that spark you're needing is just something that's that original idea that's going to just give you like it's gonna shock the brain and get the brain juices flowing, and it's going to make you just have like probably some progressive thoughts, and you're going to have some wild ideas like come into your brain, but they're going to be what you need in order to get things going and moving. I'm just making sure that Aquarius card is in the shot still. Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Yeah, this work that you've been putting into, it's paying off. It's paying off. Continue to do it. Your hard work is not wasted. Your hard work is not wasted at all. It's time to take action. New moon in Aries. I think this person that you're going to meet, that's going to give you that spark that you need, it's going to happen soon. And as soon as you get that spark, you need to do with it. Like, sure, reflect on it for a little bit, like maybe a day or so, but I don't think you should reflect on it for too long. You need to act. Once you know where you're going and what you need to do, just go with it. Don't wait. Because if you procrastinate for too long, it's going to just kind of probably fizzle out, and you're going to miss your opportunity. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. That's probably just something you need to hear. With all of this probably emotional stuff that you've been dealing with, you are good enough. It probably doesn't seem like it, or hasn't felt like it in a very, very long time. I don't know if you've been in an abusive relationship with someone, but you are worth it. Abusive relationship or not, everyone who is listening to this, you are worth it. I promise you. Take that from me. You are worth it. You are not a waste of space. All of your hard work is paying off. Everything you've been doing up until now has been enough, even if it hasn't felt like it. Even the failures, even the things that you think were failures, they were just meant to be. You were meant to experience those failures just to grow and reach a point where you can reach your best self. We are all built upon our failures and our successes. We are not perfect, but that does not mean that you are not good enough. You are good enough. All right, group number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, I would greatly appreciate you considering to subscribe or give a like. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up. It's good. It's good choked up. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye. All right, and before you go, I want you all to please remember that tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only. As we all have free will, the outcomes depicted in these readings may not be set in stone. You are the creator of your own destiny. Please let me know down in the comments below if there's a particular reading you would like me to do for you all. And I hope you have a very wonderful day, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.